Hi, my name is Natalie, and I've been teaching and practicing tantric meditations for the past 10 years. And I recently opened this YouTube channel where I talk about these topics. I personally, in my life, I do private sessions with men on emotional healing around sexual dysfunctions and issues, but I also teach meditation and inner work and healing. And today I wanted to talk about the connection between different emotional blockages that we might have from childhood to different dysfunctions that we may experience in sexuality. And today I'm talking specifically to men, and it does change between men and women, whether you like it or not. In Tantra, we believe that for straight men, the emotional blockages that are causing the dysfunction in sex have to do with his early relationship with his mother, or with a female caregiver, or with any females that he grew up with, including sisters, aunts, grandmas, any female presence in the first 10 years of our life. So I wanted to take a few common dysfunctions that men have in sexuality and show you how we connect that to the emotional blockage. As I've said many times, or maybe not enough, if we have a dysfunction in sex, we can try and fix it with different elements and exercises and, on the physical side, and that is amazing. But, if we don't heal the emotional source for that dysfunction, we're only going to get so far, and the problem will probably reoccur and come back. Although we have started to do, tantric masturbations and meditations, and we're working with the energy, but the dysfunction is still there because doing the work on the physical level alone is not enough. And that's just from my experience. Maybe other people will tell you otherwise, but I don't believe that you can actually heal these things and change them for good if you don't address the source problem, like the place where this problem originated, which is emotional. And it usually started somewhere back then when we were kids, in the 10 first years of our life. So when we're talking about sexual dysfunctions, what are the ones that men usually meet in their life? These are just things that I have met on my journey with men. So one of the most common ones that men come to talk to me about isn't even their own dysfunction. It's like married men and their wife doesn't want to have sex with them, and they're so frustrated and they don't know how to talk to her about it, and they're horny and they're cheating and they're watching porn, and they married this woman, this amazing woman who they love, but they're not having sex with her. They don't have a sex life. This frustration does remind us of the frustration that we felt as children when our mother didn't have time for us, didn't have patience for us, didn't have the ability to sit down with us and to talk with us and to do things with us beyond the regular day-to-day stuff. And then as a child, we can feel neglected and we can feel unimportant and we can feel like she doesn't love us anymore and she doesn't really want us anymore. And that can create trauma for a young child that he may recreate in future relationships that he has with women. And the correction here is, first of all, to go back to childhood and tell the child that he was loved and it had nothing to do with him. His mother was busy. She wasn't connected emotionally to herself. She was having trouble in life, but it had nothing to do with him. And then another correction would be, next time that happens with your wife or with a woman, ask questions, see how she feels, try and give her a little bit of attention and pay some interest into what she's going through, which is something that you shouldn't have to do when you're a kid, but when you're a man, maybe that's something that I can do. But if I'm so angry and frustrated at my mom who didn't give me that attention, and now it comes up with any woman that I have an intimate interaction with, then I'm just staying in that stubborn child mode. She doesn't want to have sex with me. But there are other ways to approach this issue, but we need to realize that, we're stuck there because of something that we probably experienced with our mom when we were young. Another dysfunction that men have in sex is, for example, they don't get an erection, which means they can't function properly in the sexual situation. And if that is something that you're dealing with, it can happen for many reasons, but the emotional reasons could be a feeling deep, deep inside of you that you're not good enough. And I feel like I'm not good enough, and my subconscious tells me I'm not good enough. And then when I reach sex, I'm so anxious that I'm not going to be good enough that I don't actually have the energy in my body to perform sexually. I'm not good enough is an emotional blockage that originates from your early relationship with your parents. Did they give you compliments? Did they tell you how amazing you are all the time? How did they react when you got a low grade? How did they treat you in your house in terms of criticism or telling you off or telling you where you're not okay? We learned as children that we are not good enough just the way we are, and we always have to improve and do things in order to be better. But just who we are as we are, that's not good enough. That can create anxiety, and it can also cause men to feel like they're not good enough in sex. But the I'm not good enough is much deeper than your sexual function. I mean, basically, it's not that hard to have sex. You get horny, you get an erection, and you go in and out. And having a dysfunction there means that something in my body isn't working properly, and from where I come from, something in my body means that something is blocked emotionally and is not allowing my body to function properly. So we want to find out if we have that core wound of I'm not good enough, and does it also appear in sexual interactions and relationships, and is that something that I can explore and maybe, you know, revisit the issue of not being good enough. Maybe I am good enough, and maybe it's just these stories inside of my head, and if I relax and I am more present in the situation, maybe that thing won't bother me anymore. And also I want to go back to those childhood memories and tell the young boy that I was that he is good enough. He is amazing just the way he is. He doesn't need to do anything else to be better than what he is, because he is perfect already. And we want to go back to that child and tell him that every single day until he actually believes it, until we believe it. Because even now when I said, you know, what to do with the inner child, some people are like, oh, I'm not going to tell that to the kid I was. Like, he's an idiot. He's not an idiot. He was perfect. You just have different patterns that have been, you know, imprinted into your subconscious, that you're just so used to telling yourself that you're not good enough, you actually believe it, but it's a lie, it's not true. It could also happen because, you know, bad sexual experiences when we were young, we were just finding out about our sexuality. And, you know, we were with someone who laughed at us or didn't take us seriously or reacted in a way that we didn't feel that was loving. So that could have a connection to that blockage of I'm not good enough, but you probably had sex with that woman because of your childhood experiences and because of that pattern that it was already there. So I recommend we go to the earliest memories that we can, and some people get stuck at like teenage memories when they found out about their sexuality, but the origin of these blockages is in the first 10 years of our life. Another dysfunction that we can talk about is men coming too soon. Like they have this ability, they don't have the ability to control the sexual energy. And this might surprise you, but for some men that I've talked to about this issue, they were very spoiled as young boys, and the mum did everything they asked for and gave them everything they wanted, and their mother put them on this pedestal and never made them do a lot of work at home or put any effort into anything really. And they just become these spoiled people who eat whatever they want and just, you know, come whenever they feel like it, and they don't feel a need, or they never developed a need to tell themselves no or stop or take it slowly, because their mother always told them how amazing they were and, you know, everything they're doing is perfect, and then they didn't learn how to put boundaries and put the effort in. So that's kind of the opposite of the other one I was talking about. But these are all things to do with our relationship with our mother. So she didn't pay enough attention, or she paid too much attention. She didn't give us love. She gave us too much love. Whatever happened there when we were kids is affecting us to this day in our lives in general and in our sexuality specifically. As you can see, this is a very general topic, and I have been exploring the emotional side of sexuality for the past 10 years. So when I talk to someone specifically, it's a lot easier for me to show them where the blockage might be, and talking about them in a very general way can be very difficult. So that's why sometimes I try and bring examples to these videos, but today I just wanted to talk about the whole aspect of emotional healing that we do, or we can do, around our sexuality, because I really think it's an important component of any healing process that we want to go through around this area in our life. There is a book on Amazon, it's called Unmet. It's my Bible for emotional work. I will put the link below. There is also a whole chapter there called Charge, and it's about working with the sexual energy when we're doing this emotional healing. So I recommend you read the book if this topic interests you. And of course, like this video and subscribe, because I do upload a lot of this content, you know, about these subjects to my YouTube channel, and I'll talk about the emotional aspects more in the future, because I do think it is an important part of sexual healing that a lot of people just ignore and don't do, and then they stay stuck in their dysfunctions and in their, you know, negative patterns. And I do also do private sessions online. All the information is below. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped a little bit in understanding your emotional blockages, and I would love to hear from you in the comments, and let me know what you thought and what came up for you. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.